Ground ball. McClain, second. 12 in a row. The oldest team in professional baseball has its 5th ever winning streak of a dozen straight.
Our job every day is to try to kick somebody's ass. I mean, that's why we're here.
That is caught. Left center. Reds win.
And this ball is launched high and very deep to right, long gone. It's second of the night. Ellie De La Cruz.
Short lead for Pena. Larkin draws it. Do you believe this? That's going to be gone. Back to back. Walk-off home runs. How about this? He's back. He's back. He's back.
And a swing and a drive. Deep left field. This one belongs to the Reds.
Swung on and hit
Deep to left field. That ball is going to be gone. Home run. And the Reds put it 5-4.
Goes to second one. Around to first. Got him. Double play. And the Reds sweep the Cubs. Breaking ball. Hit high. Hit deep. Way back there. And gone. Into the second deck and left. Christian Encarnacion Strand walks it off.
Archer does it in his major league debut. He gets the final 3 outs, and the Reds get an extra inning win. A thriller 5-4.
Swung on. Fly ball. Hit the deep right field. That ball is going to be gone. A grand slam home run by Mike Cameron.
2 outs, 2 on. Reds down by 1. Larkin down the line. It's a winning. It's a winning. Here comes Tucker. Here comes Steins. Larkin's won the game. Barry Larkin gets mobbed. Look at this scene. It's synergy.
The stretch, the pause in the pitch, and a line drive, base hit left center field. A single for Aaron Boone, and this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won 8 in a row.
Kobayashi with a long look turns it loose, and Dunn hits it to deep right. It's all over, and this one belongs to the Reds. The Reds have won their 5th game in a row. They've defeated the Cleveland Indians on an Adam Dunn 3-run home run, 4-2. In on the corners at first and third. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Royce Ring pitching, no bunt. Ground ball by the third baseman into left field. Dave Bruce rounds third, and this one belongs to the Reds.
That's it pretty good. Guess what? He doesn't need speed. That's gone. He's the king of the Queen City tonight.
With 1 out here in the 11th inning, you sure got to go now.
One on, pull down the left field line. That ball is going to get the winning run in. Here comes Dave Bruce rounding third, heading toward the plate, and this one belongs to the Reds.
Huge situation for Votto. Why you paying the big bucks to deliver the goods with 2 outs in the 9th inning? Can he do it? In the gap, right center field, and Votto delivers the goods.
Hit deep center field. Hank Hill going back at the warning track. Oh, he gets one. It's gone. Joey Votto is delivered.
Reds fans, what's going on? Happy Monday. Welcome to another Chatterbox Reds pregame show. I'm Hunter Hurst. He's Max Alfonso. Max, how we doing? Biggest homestand of the year. How we feeling?
Feeling good. I'm feeling like the Reds should get some wins coming up here. We're going to talk about it. I'm excited to talk about it. And yeah, let's get to it.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get to it. Start with the roster moves, as you saw in the thumbnail, title, everything. Connor Joe has been activated off the 10-day IL. Had hand, foot, and mouth disease. Looks like he's fully recovered from that. Rece Hinds and the corresponding move sent down to AAA. And then Hunter Greene came out earlier. His rehab start tomorrow has been delayed. Felt some pain in that injured groin, lower back area, and that has been pushed back. Got another MRI, so we'll wait and see on that. But nonetheless, Connor Joe is here. Rece Hinds is back in Louisville. How do you feel about the move? What do you think moving forward?
I think it just means that they still need a right-handed bat against lefties and off the bench. I think Joe is probably better than Rece Hinds. I mean, Hinds has looked really bad since he's been back up. So yeah, I think it was a fine, easy move. He kind of had to do it. You couldn't really watch Hinds anymore, and yeah, I'm fine with the move.
Yeah, I'm also fine with it whether they kept Hinds up and kept Joe down. I think he was 1 for 12 in his rehab stint in Louisville. But no matter the move, the Reds, they've got to upgrade this roster spot at some point. Hopefully, you go 5-2 on this homestand, or maybe even better, hopefully, and you're full on buying some bats at the deadline. But this is a spot in this platoon system that has kind of taken over Major League Baseball and essentially the Reds in the corner outfield spots. It has to happen. You have to not be lacking against left-handed pitching, as the Reds have been seemingly for half a decade. Rece Hinds can't hit left-handed pitching. Connor Joe's here to hit left-handed pitching, but hasn't really done much in his tenure with the Reds. So you got to upgrade this spot. Obviously, we talked Rob Refsnyder from Boston, Taylor Ward, if you're really wanting to go get a bat. I think it's just important to let Hinds get ABs and see if it pans out, but I'm not too confident for Mr. Rece Hinds moving forward.
Yeah, I'm not either. Especially right now when we're chasing a playoff spot. I don't think it's the time to give Rece Hinds all the at bats in the world. So yeah, I'll go. I think I'll just choose the known commodity and in Connor Joe and hope that he can be a little bit better than he was in his previous stint before he got the disease.
Yeah, but obviously the bigger news, Hunter Greene's rehab start delayed after he felt some issues with his groin. Not good news for the Reds. Obviously, you've heard Nick Krall's comments, like we'd like to have him back before the trade deadline. Doesn't seem like that's going to happen at this point. We're a little over 3 weeks away now. Thinking about this injury that he has, it feels like maybe we don't see Hunter Greene again until early August, and that feels like at the earliest with the current news. I would rather them shut him down than have him try to pitch through it, no matter really where the Reds are in the race. I don't think it's worth mortgaging the next few years with him to try and grab the last wild card spot. But what do you think about the Hunter Greene news?
It just really stinks for him. He'd really come into his own at the end of last year, and then this year, he looked like one of the best pitchers in the entire league, and it just stinks that this has happened to him. I think it could make starting pitching a need at the trade deadline. The level of starter, who knows? But I think they could just get some kind of innings eater at the minimum. But it stinks for Greene. I think we'll see him again at some point, but you never really know. It just really stinks.
Yeah, definitely does. And for me, that all the decisions to buy or sell off some arms, whatever you want to do, comes down to these next 7 days. Tonight, obviously, game probably might get pushed back due to some rain, but I believe they're going to get it in. 4 with the Marlins, and then 3 with the Colorado Rockies. Marlins, they're no slouch. They're ahead of the Atlanta Braves in the National League East, and they've been playing some really good baseball as of late. They were 14-10 in June. I think they're 3-3 in the month of July. Just lost 2 of 3 from the Brewers, and they took 2 out of 3 from the Reds in Miami. They're led by Kyle Stowers. What do you have on the Marlins All-Star as we move into this 4-game set?
Kyle Stowers has been one of the best hitters in baseball over the last few weeks. I say it's like every time you get on Twitter, you're seeing a Kyle Stowers homer. So I think he's the big bat in this lineup that the Reds will have to put down a little bit. He's hitting, I believe, 5th tonight, so they'll see him a lot. They'll see him all series, and he's not the only bat in this lineup that's a threat. And we'll get into that Marlins lineup eventually.
Yeah, go ahead, and not too much to say from the post game yesterday. The Reds ran into, for my money, the best pitcher in baseball in Zach Wheeler. I mean, the guy's been just so consistently dominant for years now. Complete game, 1 hitter. The lone hit for the Reds was a home run by Austin Hayes. The Reds lost 3-1. And now you come into this huge homestand where if you go 5-2, you finally get to that 5 games over 500 mark, which would be a season high. That puts you at 51-46 through 97 games headed into the All-Star break. Reds All-Star Elly De La Cruz. I won't go into a big rant about Andrew Abbott not being on the All-Star team as much as I would like to, just because we have so much to talk about. But moving into this, obviously you'd like to take 3 or 4 from Miami. I don't think there's any sort of trap game or trap series, so to speak, in this homestand. They're not looking over Miami for sure after Miami take 2 of 3 from them, I believe, in late April, early May. Colorado, I mean, obviously they're bad, but you can't – they're still a Major League Baseball team. There's some talent on that team. So you just got to find a way to win these games if you want to buy at the deadline.
Correct me if I'm wrong, the Reds are sitting at 46 and 44 right now. They come out of the break and play the Mets. Eventually they get the Dodgers. I think they play Tampa as well coming out of the break. It gets tough again right after the break. There's not many easy stretches, and I'm not going to say this is an easy stretch because I think the Marlins are like legitimately a solid baseball team. The Rockies are the Rockies, but this is just a series where if you can get 3 or 4, I think you feel awesome coming out of it.
Yeah, I fully agree. If you're able to take 3 or 4, and then Kirby said it earlier in the year when they swept the Rockies at Coors, you shouldn't expect to sweep any team in Major League Baseball, but it's really nice when you do it. So if you're able to take 3 or 4 from Miami, sweep Colorado, that puts you at 6-1 headed into the break, and then you're 7 games over 500 rather than 5. So it's a tough series ahead. And Brady Singer is on the mound for the Reds tonight. Singer is 7-6 on the year with a 4.36 ERA. He has dominated the Marlins in the past in 2 starts, 1-0 with a 2.03 ERA and 13 strikeouts. Me personally, I'm looking for 6 innings at least out of Brady Singer tonight, but is there something against this Marlins lineup that you're looking for out of Brady on the hill this evening?
So I just talked about, the Marlins lineup, how I think it's a real thing, but I think it's a lineup that Brady Singer should still pitch well against. If he locates all of his pitches, and I think he could go pretty deep into this game. It seems like 1 or 2 innings sometimes each start. It kind of unravels for him. He gets a high pitch count, but never really completely loses it. If he cannot have that inning tonight, I think that would be big for him and big for this bullpen that, as we all know, has just had their struggles as of late.
Yeah, they definitely have. And for Singer, oddly enough, he has a better ERA at home. He has given up 7 home runs, and we know it gets into these summer months and the ball flies at Great American. You have guys like Jesus Sanchez in the lineup, obviously the aforementioned Stowers. There's going to be, in my opinion, a lot of runs scored in this series. If you want to go ahead and run down the Marlins lineup, we'll go ahead and get into what Singer has to go up against tonight.
Yeah, so Brady Singer will face Xavier Edwards leading off for Miami. He's one of the best contact hitters in baseball, but will not hit for any power, which means tonight he'll probably homer. Jesus Sanchez at second and playing right. He has tons of power. Agustin Ramirez catches very, very poorly graded defensively. But offensively, he's proven to be a very good hitter. Liam Hicks, the aging Kyle Stowers in left. Eric Wagman at first, former top prospect Connor Norby at third, hitting 7th, then Derek Hill in center, and then Javier Sanoa at shortstop. What stands out to you against this lineup?
I mean, you have Stowers stands out to me, number one. I mean, 16 homers, 46 RBIs. He's been just killing the ball the last few months. But Agustin Ramirez in the 3-hole, he made his MLB debut against the Reds earlier this year, and he really gave the Reds pitching staff trouble. I think he doubled 2 or 3 times in that 3-game set down in Miami. If you're able to get him out, keep guys like Sanchez in the ballpark, which is going to be a tough thing to do, but if you're able to keep them in the ballpark, I definitely think you have a shot to win this game. And at the end of the day, the Reds offense has to do more than they did the last 2 days for this pitching staff. Obviously, the bullpen had some struggles in Philadelphia, especially yesterday was a struggle, it seemed. But Singer has to be able to keep these guys in the ballpark. And like you said, stay out of that huge inning of the 25, 30 pitch inning that seems to plague some of his starts, especially the ones at home. And if he's able to do that, you're able to rest the bullpen and just go deep into this game and give your guys a shot.
Yeah, I think tonight is a really important start for Singer. I have confidence every time he takes the mound that he can give them at least 5 innings of 3-run ball at worst. So, but tonight I think it's fair to expect a little bit better. And just a quick note on Ramirez. We were talking about this before we went live. Offensively, he's been very good. Defensively, he is not good at all. And the Reds earlier this year against Miami stole 10 bags in that series. And that says a lot because they haven't really ran much this year compared to last year and years before. So I think this series, I think we should expect to see, guys like Ellie and McLean, Friedel, Benson, Marte, those guys to try and be a little more aggressive on the bases. I know there are a few times in that Philly series where I was hoping Ellie would go and push it a little bit, but he didn't really seem to have any interest. And I just wonder if that's him or if that's the matchup, I guess.
Yeah, obviously they have, Real Muto behind the plate, one of the premier defensive catchers in the sport and has been for a really long time. But with Ramirez, has great arm, but has no idea where it's going. His receiving isn't great. Framing isn't great. It would be massive for the Reds to run all over this Marlins team and take advantage of any opportunity you can get with Ramirez behind the plate. On the mound for the Marlins, however, one of the best pitcher names in baseball in Janson Junk, 2-1 with a 3.62 ERA. What do you have on Janson Junk for Miami?
Yeah, so he'll make his 4th start of the year, but he's pitched in 37 innings, I should say. He came out of the bullpen a lot earlier in the year, has a 3.6 ERA, and he's only walked 2 guys in 37 innings. So that's a pretty impressive number, and I think the Reds can't be up there tonight looking for walks. As a starter this year, he's got an ERA just under 5, and he sits around 94 with the fastball, and he throws 3 different variations of curve of breaking balls. So a little bit different pitch mix, I guess. No changeup in there, just one fastball, the 4-seam. So it's we'll see how the Reds face tonight against Janson Junk. What's the lineup there on the screen?
Lineup. So you have TJ Friedel in center field, Matt McLean at second, Ellie at short, Austin Hayes, who kept the Reds from getting perfect gamed by the buzzsaw of Zach Wheeler yesterday, bats clean up and left, Gavin Lux at DH, Spencer Steer at first, and then real kind of who's who is the bottom 3 of the lineup in Stephenson, Benson, and Noelvi Marte. Looking at this lineup, it's one of the better ones they've put out this year. Me personally, I love it because there's no Slappy-Iago Espinal in it. But it's the bottom 3 have a real shot to produce tonight. Marte hit an absolute missile down in Miami in that series. I believe that was in the series finale when the Reds were able to salvage that one and keep the no sweep streak alive. But it's a big, big evening for this Reds offense against Janson Junk. He doesn't walk anybody, like you said. He's going to fill up the zone, try to dance around it. If you're able to get him in a count such as like a 2-0 or a 3-1, a hitter's count, you can really do damage against him. I think it's important to be aggressive if he's going to stay in the zone like that. And I think the Reds could put up 7 or 8 runs in this game. I don't think that's what it's going to take to win it, but it feels like a spot where, hey, we just got 1 hit yesterday. We scored 1 run the day before. We're back at home, and this is arguably the biggest week of the year. So the Reds offense has to do something at Great American Ballpark tonight.
This lineup, for my money, I think would be the best one we've seen this year. I mean, the last 3 guys in the lineup, Stephenson, Benson, Marte, I have a lot of confidence in all of those guys. Stephenson struggled a little bit, and Marte's just coming back, but I still would take that bottom 3 over a lot of teams in Major League Baseball. And then you go just right up to the 6th spot, and Spencer Steer. He's been one of the best hitters in the National League for a few weeks now. And then the only guy really in the lineup right now that's struggling is McLean, and that's just been the theme ever since like the first week of the season. It's just been really, really frustrating and kind of sad to just watch him struggle so much. I I don't really know what the fix is. Maybe this is the week he gets hot against some lesser opponents, and he can kind of get some confidence. Maybe we just need to wait till the All-Star break and he can clear his head a little bit and get to it. But yeah, I don't know. So I love the lineup, but I want Matt McClain to produce, and I know I'm not the only one that thinks that.
Yeah, it's been an inconsistent year for Matt McClain. Obviously, not what he wanted to see. I don't think what any of the fans wanted to see with him missing all of 24. And you wanted him to get right back into those 2023 numbers, but it really hasn't happened outside of that first week. But this is a series or a pair of series where he can really get going and try and just try and figure it out. And who knows, maybe he does some work over the All-Star break and he comes out and hits 310 in the second half. We've seen that happen plenty of times with guys. I remember in 2017, Joey Votto hit 400 in the second half. So it's anything can happen is the way that I look at it. But it's important. I think it's important to note Matt McClain he's made some errors defensively, specifically in Boston during the Burns start, but he hasn't let his effort or his defensive ability go wayward at all this season, despite the fact that he hasn't really had a good year at the plate. But I'm really looking for him this stretch to try and figure it out and start playing like the two-hole hitter that he should be and was in 2023.
If he's going to hit second, then he needs to produce. Everyone who's hit second this year has pretty much sucked. McClain's been bad, and there was that 3-week stretch where we had to hit Santiago Espinal second for some reason, and he wasn't good either. So we need someone. If it's not going to be Ellie or Friedel or any of those guys hitting second steer, then they need to produce. So I'm looking for that, and yeah.
That's definitely what I'm looking for. I think it is important to note none of the 9 guys in the lineup tonight for the Reds have faced Janson Junk. The only one that has is Trevino. And then on the other side, Singer has allowed just 4 hits and 24 at-bats to the guys in the Marlins lineup tonight. So definitely looking for a good night out of Brady Singer. Bullpen availability for the Reds. Don't think you have Barlow. Don't think you have Ashcraft. Santion maybe, but other than that, I think you just about have everybody. What are you looking for out of the bullpen tonight? Obviously, there's some length options in there if it's not great for Singer this evening.
Yeah, I would agree with you on Barlow. Definitely not expecting. I couldn't talk. Expecting to see Barlow, Santion, Ashcraft. I think there's a chance we see one of them. Pagan, I think easily will be the 9th inning guy, and if they need him to go 6 outs, then I think that could be in play. But I don't want that at all. I feel much better when my closer's just in the 9th going for 3 guys. So yeah, I think the lineup, the bullpen should be somewhat open tonight. One thing that's interesting to me is obviously Mole's back now, and that's good to see. Hopefully I know he gave up that hit to Schwarber yesterday, but he had a pretty good series in Philly and in Boston. Is the roles between Suter and Rogers. It's been a lot of Rogers coming in with guys on base and using Suter as kind of the mop-up guy and stuff. I wonder if that could change at some point because Rogers has just been dreadful. It's especially with guys on, he's been terrible. When he comes in off a clean inning, I'm like, all right, I feel much better. But I would much rather at this point, I think, see Suter in some high leverage spots over Rogers.
Yeah, I fully agree. Suter has that experience as well as he used to, if I'm not mistaken, used to be the 7th inning guy before the Brewers would bring in Devin Williams. And then when they had Josh Hader as the closer, he would pitch those high leverage spots in the 7th. I just remember him terrorizing the Reds in Milwaukee and those
he would come in to face Votto. He faced Votto a million times, it felt like.
Yeah, and maybe it's you don't want to put him in with runners on because he obviously doesn't throw him 100 miles an hour, but he pitches to
Yeah.
weak contact, and sometimes he gets burned by that. But I'm all for seeing him in a high leverage spot where he's not an opener, or he's not throwing, one inning where we're up 8 or down 4. It's just I would really like to see him be put in a spot where, hey, he's added value everywhere he's been. Why not try it here?
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. One thing that's floating around the chat right now that I want to get your opinion on is a lot of Tyler Stephenson, I guess, talking down about Tyler Stephenson. Do you have any, I guess, major take right now about Tyler Stephenson and his performance? Obviously, he struggled a little bit, but anything you have on that?
I mean, I don't think there's any reason to even just acknowledge trading Tyler Stevenson. I think obviously he's struggled, but the guy has been just getting destroyed by home plate umpires this year while he's at the plate. We see it time and time again where this guy's getting a strike 3 called on him and it's 5 inches off the plate. I don't think he's ever going to be a guy who hits 25 or 30 home runs, but if he's adding value as sort of a contact bat that can provide some pop, 15 to 20 home runs and stay healthy, I think that'll be important. But this is a guy that fans before the season were looking at a possible extension for Tyler Stephenson. What are your thoughts on the matter?
I would still extend Tyler Stephenson. I'm a huge Tyler Stephenson guy. I think he's improved so much defensively. He I can't remember if it was yesterday or the day before he threw someone out in a pretty big spot. So yeah, I think this is something Tyler Stevenson will work through and he'll be fine. But there's also no real other option. Trevino isn't playing well right now. They traded Wins, who has been terrible for the Athletics. So uh, there's just no like I don't know. I think you need Tyler Stevenson if this team is going to go anywhere.
Yeah, this team specifically, but looking for the future, I mean, Alfredo Duno, for all he's doing I believe he's in Daytona. It might be Dayton. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
I think it's Daytona. I could be wrong.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's hitting the ball well, boasting a higher walk rate than strikeout rate, if I'm not mistaken. But he's not a sure thing. I mean, guys can hit the ball well in AAA and then come up and do nothing, like Rece Hinds has since he got back up, or Will Benson, the one time he got in the game when they initially called him up this year in San Francisco, went 0 for 4 with 3 Ks against Verlander. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. And Tyler Stevenson, as awful as he was to begin 2024, turned that into pretty much a career year to where coming into this year, he was your one catcher and Trevino was going to be the backup. And then he misses. I don't even remember when he came back. I think it was early June, around Memorial Day or so was when he came back. And he's still getting into the groove. That wasn't that long ago that Tyler Stevenson was just coming back for this Reds team.
Yeah, I think we need to be a little patient with Tyler Stevenson. He'll be fine. I really have not much to say on it. I was just curious your thoughts. I have no concerns about Tyler Stevenson. If he's going to hit, he's always hit. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, no worries on this side about Ty Steve. Weather tonight, low 80s. Rain's expected around 7 o'clock. I think it is raining right now. I'm not exactly sure. I have my blind shut, so can't give you a full weather update from the Queen City. But the look around the National League Central, the Reds are 8 back in the division, 2.5 back in the wild card race. The Cubs are off tonight, opening up in Minnesota tomorrow. Brewers are hosting the Dodgers, big games up there in Milwaukee at American Family Field. St. Louis also off tonight. They open against the Nationals tomorrow. And Pittsburgh, they've been playing good ball lately as well. They're in Kansas City. Do you have any predictions tonight in this Reds Marlins game? Hopefully there's no delay and they're able to get it in.
Yeah, that's the hope. Last week, my Ryan Vilade pinch hit homer did not come true. I know we're all shocked to hear that. But I say Tyler Davidson gets a hanging breaking ball tonight and destroys it, and everyone will not want to trade him.
Yeah, I really liked the Reds to score above 6 or 7 runs tonight. I kind of look at this as a game where the offense is able to break out and give Singer some cushion to pitch freely and feel like he can pound the zone and not have to worry about walking guys or anything like that or giving up hard contact. Definitely think the Reds will win this game 9-2, 9-3 would probably be my official prediction. Just get on Junk early. Don't let him get into any sort of groove. See if you can, get him. See if you can get him out early and get into this Marlins bullpen because they also rank bottom 10 in the league in team ERA. So that's kind of what I have tonight.
Yeah, I was looking at the Marlins bullpen earlier just because it seems like they always have a couple arms. Like last year, they had Tanner Scott and they cashed in on him at the deadline. So I was looking to see if they had any arms at the bullpen at the deadline that the Reds would be interested in, and there's not one really that sticks out. So I once we get into the bullpen, I'm not too worried about it.
No, and they don't have a true closer either. I think they're only converting save opportunities at a 58% rate, which I'm no mathematician, but that's bad. That's not very good.
Yeah, I'm not a math guy either, but that's not great. I think Calvin Fauché is how you pronounce it. Like that could be so wrong, but he leads the team in saves with 8. So, and that's not much. So that's a factor of they don't have many win opportunities, especially earlier in the year. And like you said, they don't have a set closer.
Yeah, they do not have a set closer, but we're going to head out of here and let you all tune into Reds Live. Hopefully, no delay tonight. And if you're in the area, you can probably scalp a ticket, but go to the ballpark and support this team as hopefully the Reds are able to go 5-2 on this homestand and figure it out, be 5 games above 500 headed into the All-Star break. I like the Reds. Sean Connor, I believe, over 6.5, I believe. That's the way that I look at it. Reminder to tune into the post-game show and a little special video from Mike Hart before we get out.
Because you're from Cincinnati, and that means you're tough. So let's go win a ball game tonight.
Let's go win a ball game tonight. Thank you all for watching. We appreciate it. And we will see you all on Wednesday for Game 3 out of 4 between the Reds and the Marlins.